And now let's get into one of the most important parts of this course, and likely the part that you've been waiting for. Let's talk about the job search and everything from applying to jobs to messaging hiring managers and recruiters, as well as different messages that you can actually use and much, much more. So first, let's talk about applying for jobs. And applying for jobs can be relatively simple. On LinkedIn, all we need to do is go to the jobs section of LinkedIn and start typing in different job titles that we're looking to get. From there, we can go ahead and follow through the LinkedIn application process, and it's relatively simple and very hands-on. So we'll be showing that in the hands-on portion of this area of this course. What you need to understand very quickly for right now is that if you're looking to use LinkedIn to apply for jobs directly, which is actually a pretty good use of LinkedIn, you're going to need a resume that is specifically formatted with various keywords. Now, you can check out some of my other courses, including the Start Your Career course, but you're going to want at least a resume that has specific keywords that are common in your industry. And in fact, most people recommend nowadays that if you're serious about a job search, that for every job that you actually apply to, that you change your resume and you tailor it for every job. Now, if you want to, you can use AI for that. You can experiment with different tools to help you with that. That's far beyond the scope of this course, but I just wanted to give you some heads up that both of those things are options, adding keywords, or specifically and more likely of success, actually using AI to tailor or customize every resume for every job application that you send out. Again, both of those are just options, but you can feel free to look into them. And I highly recommend that you consider at least using one of the two options because the job market nowadays is quite competitive. After applying for jobs, I'm going to show you a method that you can use to actually find the hiring manager for a certain job on LinkedIn and then message them in order to tell them that you've applied for their job, you're really interested, and you're really looking forward to getting an interview with them. I can tell you based off of some quick research that I did before this video that only about 20% or less of people actually reach out to hiring managers or leaders or anyone within a company that they've applied to. So if you do that, you have a significant leg up over other job candidates. You'll see many jobs online and on LinkedIn that have 100 plus applicants, but I can tell you from my own experience, very few of those people actually follow up with someone in the company that they're applying to, and very fewer of those people actually start a conversation and express excitement as well as confidence towards them getting the role. So if you can do that, you will set yourself apart from others in the job market. And we'll also talk about a method where you can cold message different managers and leaders without necessarily putting in a job application at the company that they're working at. So essentially, you're just going to see if they have a role open and take it from there. We'll also talk a little bit about recruiters and how you can cold message them on LinkedIn. Now, recruiters can be either hit or miss, so I do recommend that when you're searching for a job, you use multiple avenues, apply for jobs, cold message different hiring managers and leaders, and potentially use a certain recruiter or a group of recruiters. There are other methods for job searching on LinkedIn. For example, some more intermediate methods would be joining some different job groups or job posting boards, but we're going to keep it fairly simple, and we're going to go over these topics outlined in here. And just one more reminder, make sure that your profile has an open to work set. If you don't remember doing that or you haven't done that, make sure you go back to earlier in this course where we went through how to set up your open to work on LinkedIn so that hiring managers and recruiters can find you much, much easier. Additionally, as I talked about with your resume, you need keywords on your LinkedIn profile. Again, we've already covered LinkedIn keywords at length. Just make sure that your skills section, as well as other portions of your LinkedIn, have the right keywords for what you're looking to do with your LinkedIn profile. And lastly, make sure that you have high visibility settings enabled. I would double or triple check all of your settings on LinkedIn when you're starting a job search because you're going to want to make your profile as open as you can possibly make it. Now, once you get a job, you can dial back some of those visibility settings and keep a little bit more privacy, but I do recommend, if you can, that you open up your LinkedIn as much as you possibly can, because when you're looking for a job, you want to start gaining traction on your profile. And lastly, on your LinkedIn, make sure that you're using the word aspiring. If you don't yet have a role or a role that you're looking to get, you could put aspiring whatever role. For example, aspiring project manager. Now let's dive into some of these topics hands-on. All right, so we're here on my LinkedIn homepage. Let's go ahead and go to jobs here. And if we want to find project manager remote jobs, we could type in remote, or if we wanted to find hybrid, we could do that as well. But in this case, let's just do project manager remote jobs posted in the past week, which is what I typed up here in the job description. So let's go ahead and take a look. And okay, so now we have exactly what we're looking for. So from here, we can use LinkedIn's easy apply and we can start applying for these different roles. And from here, we can go ahead and fill out all this information. And once you're actually complete with the job application, just go ahead and submit it. And then from there, it will be submitted to the hiring manager and the hiring team. Now, one thing here is go ahead and if you need to, pause this video while you fill out some job applications, because next I'm going to show you how to reach out to the hiring manager after you sent your job application in. So in this case, I'm going to take advantage of LinkedIn Premium. And again, I already applied for this job. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to the Meet the Hiring Team. Again, this option is only available on LinkedIn Premium, but it's extremely powerful because you can actually find the person who is in charge of the recruiting or hiring for this company very quickly. Again, if you're looking to find a job, this is like a shortcut. It's a very, very quick way to easily get in contact with hiring managers and quickly get your application seen. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and message them. And or I could also look them up on LinkedIn. So let's say that I didn't want to use any sort of credit. If LinkedIn was making me submit a credit, I could just copy and paste their LinkedIn in another tab here, go to home, and then I could just search for their name like this. And then from there, I can go ahead and find them, and I could go ahead and send them a connection request and just say something like, hey, name, I applied for your, let's see what role this was, SAP project manager, to hear back from you. Sounds great. Maybe even mention one or two things that you have that the job description mentioned. I have a lot of experience working with, let's see, what does it say? SAP requirements, and I feel like I'd be a great fit for your team. So I can send a message like this. And this, again, you can customize your messages, but this is a great way to start talking to hiring managers. So in this case, I'm just going to say, hey, their name, and I'll go ahead and click send. And of course, I've reached my weekly limit, so I can't send it. But if I didn't, this would be a great way to send this out. Additionally, I can just message them directly from here, but sometimes it will take in-mail credits, which can cost some money. So by actually getting their name and then just looking them up on LinkedIn, I can just connect with them and message them directly through their profile instead of messaging them through here. Now that's how you can easily find hiring managers or recruiters through different jobs on LinkedIn. Again, you do need premium, but it's definitely worth investing in. And now let's go ahead and talk about how to cold message different hiring managers as well as leaders and recruiters. So now here we are on our LinkedIn, and let's say that I was looking for a job in IT. Now I might contact an IT manager. So I'd search for IT manager and I would go here into people. And now from here, your options are almost endless. From here, I can message this IT systems administrator or manager. This person's an IT director. This person is a IT vendor manager. Actually, I probably wouldn't message an IT vendor manager, but you kind of get the point. As I go through these different people that have these different job titles, I can start to reach out with them, connect with them, add a note and say something like, hey, Craig, I saw you're an IT manager at XYZ company. Congrats on your, let's say, great work on your career so far. It's incredibly inspiring seeing your journey. Reaching out as I'm new to IT and looking to get an IT role. Do you know if XYZ, which is the company he works at, has any available? If not, no problem. Would still love to stay in touch. Boom. And then send that over and send out 10 or 20 of these a day. You can cold message any sort of manager. You know, if you're looking for jobs and say, project management, maybe you would cold message people from the project management office. If you're looking for a job in cybersecurity, maybe you would cold message the cybersecurity manager or the cybersecurity director. Or if you were feeling really crazy, maybe you would even message the CISO there or the chief information security officer. So there's a lot of different things you can do. And that's how you can start messaging hiring managers as well as leaders. Now let's go ahead and take a look at recruiters. So again, we don't necessarily need to message only IT recruiters. This is using the example of if we were looking for an IT role. Now, in this case, there's a ton of different IT recruiters, very, very popular. And even if they don't have a job, we can still connect with them and stay in the loop because odds are eventually either they're going to have a job or someone that they know is going to have a job, or they're going to see our posts. In some way, we're eventually going to meet someone who has an opportunity for us. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and connect with this recruiter, and I would say, hi, name. And I would say, congrats on your role as a senior IT recruiter at the company that he works at. And with recruiters, you can be a little bit more direct because they know you're looking for a role. So in this case, I'm not necessarily, going on and on. I'm just getting to the point with recruiters. I would say reaching out as I'm currently looking for a role in IT. I have 6 years experience in help desk, let's say my A+ certification and a bachelor's degree. Do you have any roles open or know of any roles or know of anyone? So here you can see, and now I can just send the same message to everyone. So I can send that. Right now I can't because I don't have the ability to send out connection requests this week, but I can go ahead and add a note, and then I could say the next person, and then I can just swap out their name as well as their job title, US IT recruiter. I don't know what company. I'm just going to say it, XYZ. Obviously, I wouldn't send it, but you guys kind of get the point. So from here, I could click send once I figure out their company. But in this case, again, not able to send out any more connection requests this week. So you guys can see how powerful it is to just go through LinkedIn, start connecting with other people. And if you cap out your connections, you can get to sometimes 100, 120 connections per week before LinkedIn says, okay, you're capped out for the week. You can't send anymore. And that's completely fine. That's normal. If you get to that point where, LinkedIn kind of cuts you off at a certain point, that's no problem. You just wait until the next week. It's no problem at all. And to conclude, in this video, we talked all about the job search. We talked about everything from applying to jobs, as well as why you should use different keywords in your resume or potentially have AI customize your resume. We also talked about how to message hiring managers after you've actually applied for a role, and you do need LinkedIn Premium in order to do that. And we talked about cold messaging, including cold messaging recruiters, cold messaging various hiring managers or department managers. And we also talked about even cold messaging different types of leaders, like for example, directors, VPs or vice presidents, and even C-level executives, using the simple way of just looking up their job title and finding people under that job title and then just reaching out to them. And overall, I recommend that you use each of these methods that we talked about in this video, because as you go on, as you apply for other jobs, you're eventually going to find an opportunity that works best for you.